The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is e-Coffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, Coffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Laura Dew, who is the managing director of the WonderCo with us. Hey, Laura, how's it going?
Hi, lovely. How are you doing?
All good. Lovely to be, having this session with you today. Laura, before we move any forward, tell us more about your early years. What kind of a child were you, and were there really any early signs of, you making a career in marketing and branding?
Look, I think I was always trying to spread the word. Like I never stopped talking really as a kid, and my daughter is exactly the same. Yeah, I think on my report cards, I would always have Laura could do a lot better if she stopped talking to her friends. But also I bumped into someone who I used to live with on my street growing up as a child, and she also works in marketing. And I said to her, it was so funny because when we were kids, we used to play sort of like these, not make-believe games, but activity games and we of our own accord I created basically like a shopping center in our spare room. We just moved from England to Australia, and we had all these boxes, and I created all of these stalls like a shopping center or marketplace. And I had like lots of free samples, and she could go around and experience sort of whatever she wanted, like a retail concept. And I would have only been like 9 or 10. And then she set up what was essentially sort of like a zoo experience in her garden, where she sort of put like teddies of animals all around the garden, and she gave us tickets and we walked around and saw it. And she ended up working for quite a while at the Museum of Western Australia. So I thought it was so funny that I kind of went into retail marketing to begin with, and then she went on to become, marketing manager of a museum, which is kind of sort of, similar kind of experience to what we created when we were 10 years old. It was quite funny.
Lovely. And then what triggered the decision to start your own agency, the WonderCo? I mean, obviously, entrepreneurial journey, you get a lot of thought and early day challenges. So what triggered that decision to kind of start your own thing?
I actually didn't really make the decision officially and say, hey, I'm going to go out and create my own business. I want to create my own agency. I never made that decision. It kind of happened organically. I was working for Yelp, the review app, an American company, and they closed down all of their international operations apart from America and Canada. And so I was looking after the APAC region, and it was like November, and I just got back to all of the LinkedIn DMs that had been asking me for consulting work while I was at Yelp, but it was always a conflict of interest and I didn't have time as well. So I just got back to those and I said, look, I'm going to be applying for all the jobs when they come out in January, February, but I'll take on like a few months project work and we'll just keep an open line of communication and see what happens in the summer. And then by the end of summer, February, I had full-time work. So I said, okay, we were thinking about having kids at the time. This will give me the flexibility I wanted to start my own business and raise children. And so that's when I came up with the name and registered as a business. And from there, we just got more and more clients and just hired organically.
Give us the story behind the name, the WonderCo.
Yeah, I mean, it took quite a long time to come up with that name. But what I loved about it was its dual meaning of like feeling of amazement and admiration. But then it's also a personal thing that's regarded as good or remarkable. But also it's, when you wonder about something, you're being curious. And I think being curious is like such a great quality as a person, but particularly when you work in marketing, it's extremely important to stay curious.
Absolutely. And starting your agency is no mean task, Laura. I mean, you would have gone through a lot of challenges, keeping the lights on, ensuring about the support functions, the HR, the finances, the books, right? And then obviously hiring team, ensuring the clients, the deliverables are in place. So give us, this is for our young listeners who are trying to, start their own journey, their own entrepreneurial journey. So what are the challenges that you have faced and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, look, I think there has been many. I think as a business owner or entrepreneur, so much of the output of the business is based on your energy and, without sounding too woo-woo, your mindset and just where things are at with you in life. So I think the business has definitely sort of grown when I've had the time and energy to invest into it, and has kind of like stagnated when things in my life have been going like not so well or pretty average. In terms of major challenges, I mean, not long after I started the business, COVID happened. And then I feel like the following few years have just been dealing with the economy stabilizing since COVID, inflation, cost of living, which has impacted so many of our clients. So every year I'm like, it's going to normalize next year. And then it was normalizing this year. And then Trump got in and I feel like, the stock market today has been crazy. So look, I think if you're creating a product or service that people need and, you have great values, I think there'll probably be a place for you. If we sort of like break it down to the most basic elements, I think as a marketer, you have to constantly, especially at the moment, be learning new platforms. Meta has a new part of it or a new algorithm change for every week that we're keeping up with the trends on social media in terms of like music and whatever else we have to constantly stay ahead of. So there's a lot of changes that you have to be ahead of as a marketer as well.
Perfect. And talking about creating a place for you, how do you position yourself differently, from all the agencies out there and your niche?
Yeah, for sure. So we've always, because the largest category on Yelp was food, so restaurants, that was really where the business grew from 8 years ago. From there, we've kind of like moved from restaurants into more packaged food products, fast moving consumer goods. But over the past few years, it's really moved to wellness. So some of those products have been wellness products, but now we're working with National Suicide Prevention Organization, NEMI, Men's Health WA, just as, like I said, sort of like as an entrepreneur, sometimes the business will flow down from sort of like your personality and your culture and values. I really feel like the business has sort of like almost done that as well. A lot of our interests within the team are wellness, and we've just been really lucky to be approached by a lot of really great mental health and wellness organizations over the last couple of years, and it's been great doing like really impactful work for them.
Absolutely. Talking about doing impactful work, if I were to ask you, so many years in business, you'd have a lot of client stories, but give us your favorite client story.
Okay, my favorite client story. Well, like a funny story or a success story?
We've heard a lot of success stories. Let's focus on the funnier one then.
Okay, all right. I need to think. You've put me on the spot there. I don't know if I've got a funny one that I could tell you that's not giving away too much secret sauce. I don't know, for me, we've got so many clients that we've been working with since we started, and so many clients, who have either clients or stakeholders or other people that we've really impacted positively over the last however many years. And I think that's probably just like overall kind of like what keeps getting me up in the morning.
All right. And working in fast-paced industries, Laura, it can really take a toll, right? And like we were talking about it earlier, you have got a busy schedule for the evening as well, right? Again, fast-paced in personal life. So how do you prioritize mental health and wellness, over professional and all this hodgepodge that you're in?
Yeah, I think I was probably a lot better at doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing before I had kids. I got into meditation a little bit, would always make sure like I exercise first thing in the morning, you eat really well, all those kinds of things. I mean, then when you have kids, they're waking you up at dawn, so you can't like really get up and sort of like do a quick meditation. You're looking after them sort of from the moment you wake up and then till the moment almost you go to sleep. But I do think exercise for me is huge. If I don't exercise, like I just feel my energy levels drop. I feel way less happier, like automatically. I always want to be doing some kind of movement every day. I've been getting a lot more into weights as well lately. And I think just boundaries as well has been a big one for me personally and professionally. I think when you start a business out, you want to be everything to everyone. You want to, say yes to everything and do anything you can to help people, but really you're not helping people in the way that can serve them best if you're just taking on any scope of work. So that's, was an early learning for me. And then I think, just boundaries ongoing has been something I'm really working on.
Lovely. Talking about boundaries and not taking everything that comes your way, have you said no to a client ever? You must have.
Yes. So I turned down a client who's calm or like...
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, tell us both the cases, right? Wherein you have said no to, let's say, new project, a new client, and a case wherein you have fired a client.
Yeah, I think I don't know, you know straight away, and you'll take on a
Yeah.
client, and then months later and sometimes it's not even, it's like finding a great job. It's not just that the job is interesting. It's like, are the conditions good? Are the people you're working with awesome? Like, is there a sense of fulfillment? Like, when is the project ending? Are you, getting all these different things that you need from a role? And it's the same with the client. Sometimes their mission will be great, but they maybe don't have the budget to get to where they want to be. That their expectations versus reality might not be aligned. Sometimes, it's just not a good fit for other reasons. But yeah, when you've got and I feel like we're in such a great space at the moment that all of the clients that we work with now are really incredible.
I'm sure. Perfect, Laura. This has been a great interaction. But before we let you go, I would like to play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game for it.
Okay, yep, sure, let's do it.
All right, since it's Friday, let's talk about Friday evenings. Where do we find you after office or after work?
Look, if it's the weekend with my kids, we do a movie night, which is just really an excuse for them to eat as many lollies as they can, not really watch a movie. And then if I don't have my kids, then I'm usually out at a restaurant, or might go to the gym and then catch up with friends, do something low key.
All right. What did you do with the first paycheck of your life, Laura?
Oh my gosh. Actually cannot even remember. I can't really remember, but what's funny is that my first paycheck, I worked for Avon, selling Avon door to door when I was 12. So I wasn't even really legally allowed to do it. And then I used to go to the meetings, and my mum would be there, and they would be talking to her, and my mum would be like, no, she's the one selling Avon. I think I made a lot of money because they felt sorry for this little 12-year-old knocking on doors.
All right. Okay. Your last Google search.
What did I just search? I think it was something for Perth Symphony Orchestra, one of our newer clients, just around In Excess, which is a show that they've got coming up.
All right. One thing which you might want to change about your agency.
Better seating. So the seats that we got in the meeting room are bad, and Courtney has been on at me for ages to replace them. And I think I found the perfect chairs, but I haven't wanted to we bought a lot of stuff, cheap and quick at the last office. And now I'm trying to only buy investment pieces. So I think I found them. That's probably the next thing I'll change.
All right. Well, not really any further because, guys, she got a very good Friday evening plan. So, all right. Thank you so much, Laura, for taking out time to do this with us. And for audiences, if they want to reach out to you, how would they do that?
Yeah, they can reach out to me via the WonderCo website or the WonderCo Instagram.
All right. Lovely. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.